All right, welcome back to the shop. 1989 Kawasaki KD80X. I just like saying that. I think it's a really cool name for anything. I like it. It's a cool little mini bike. This machine was only made for 2 years, 1988 and 1989. Disc brakes, 2-stroke, hand clutch. I believe it's a 4-speed. Don't quote me on that. It might be 4 or 5. But just the coolest little kid's mini bike you could possibly imagine. I'm a Honda guy, you know that. But in 1989, this is a really cool, this would probably ran on a track against the Cobra 65s. And you know, Honda was still pushing 4 strokes. They kind of, no 2-stroke that I can think of in a kid's machine. So that was probably the direct competitor to that, was the Cobra 65. But what a cool machine. This machine actually had a separate oiling system for your 2-stroke mix. It was, you put gas in the gas tank, and there was a separate tank for 2-stroke oil, and then they mixed at the carburetor. And there's a lot of guys, a lot of dads didn't do that, and they put 2-stroke mix, pre-mix already in the gas tank, and then didn't put anything in the oiler tank, if you want to call it that. And I can certainly understand why, because if you ran out of one and not the other, the bike would keep running, but you could also melt it really easily. Now this machine we picked up really cheap. The people that had it wasn't working, hadn't run in a really long time, it had been sitting in the garage, and they just wanted it out of the way. And what a great machine to find. I've had this machine probably 2 years. We got it running in a Will It Run. I'll link it somewhere here on the screen if you want to see it. We did a Will It Run on it. We got it running. It smokes a lot, more than it should. I think it needs rings, but other than that, it runs and drives and shifts and stops and all the fun stuff. Today we're going to finish the pretty on it. I reached out to our friends out at Blue Line Graphics, and they actually sell a complete graphics kit. Don't mind my gas tank, I'm restoring that one. This is the part that I'm trying to fix in here somewhere. But Blue Line Graphics has a complete kit of decals for the KD80X, and they do come in 2 different versions of this, green versus white. And so be sure, if you've got a green or white KD80X, you get the proper graphics for it. Remember, 1988 was green, 1989 was white. Much like our 1989 Kawasaki Bayou we have in the shop. We just picked it up. We just got it running. I haven't even washed it and cleaned it up yet. We're going to do a video on that shortly about taking it to market and how to maximize your return on that. But back to our KD80X, everything's here. Everything's tight and tuned. I've washed it really good. I brought it out. A couple of things. We did put wheels and tires on it, as you can see, or excuse me, we put tires on it in tubes. The tires were shot. It had mixed match tires. They didn't match. I went ahead and picked these up and put them on, painted the wheels. Real tidy little machine. Yes, it's got some surface rust on it. If you wanted to restore it, you certainly could do that. But if you wanted to ride it, you wouldn't feel bad about getting it dirty. When you wash your ATVs, if you've got an exposed element, air filter, take it off. Put something over the carburetor, a little zip tie, hold it on there against the pressure washer. Any ducting that has you know, ports that you don't want to get water down into. Any of your electronics, always good. I use old bags and wrappers and things like that, and I'll cover up my electronics, and then I'll come back and I'll wash this by hand with just a damp cloth. I don't want to hit this with a pressure washer. But just a few little things. You're recycling and you're keeping water out of places it doesn't need to be. But what a cool machine. Today what we're going to do is we're going to put our plastics back on. But the big thing about the KD80X is it had these scoops here on the side of the tank, and you're going to see the tank here in just a few minutes. These have been soaking in soapy water for about 4 days or so, and tried to get them as white as I possibly could. But overall, they came out really nice. These are being reproduced. They're 3D printed. There's a difference if you see the left and the right. but that's what makes this machine. Let's get started on this, and we're just going to time lapse a little bit of putting these fenders and stuff back on. They're all 10mm sockets. Be careful not to strip them out. I'm probably going to use some new hardware just to, you know, if you're going to go this far, if you're going to take the time to really deep clean a machine and put new graphics on it, don't put on crusty old hardware. If nothing else, wire wheel it and paint it and then put it on. Far better than having a nice clean piece of plastic with a nice decal on it and a big rusty bolt holding it on. Don't do that. So we picked up this tank off of eBay, and I've had it some time, and we've painted it, and we just cleared it, and I had a little contamination, something going on right there. I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you I'm an expert painter, because I am not. No, I didn't paint it sitting here. This is where it was after it cured and dried. This is where I brought it, and just to kind of keep it safe, and I didn't want it to lay around on anything. I wanted it to hang, and it's been curing now. I painted that 4 or 5 days ago, so I think it's safe now to handle it, put it on the machine, start laying our graphics out on it without really fret of the paint being too soft.